Chosen one, God set up your payment. This is just happening for you. Certain developments unfold not through effort, but through alignment. This message speaks to that kind of unfolding. When it is said that a payment has been set up, it does not point to chance or manipulation. It points to order, to timing that has been arranged beyond your immediate control. For the chosen one, this is not about chasing outcomes or forcing doors. It is about recognizing when provision moves, because preparation has already been completed. What is happening now is not random, and it is not happening for everyone. It is happening because conditions have aligned in a way that allows movement to occur without resistance. Stay with this message until the very end, because each part builds on the last. And write your warmest wishes in the comments and include 144 as a symbol of alignment and focused intention, allowing this moment to be acknowledged and gently energized as part of a shared flow. Now, chosen one, press the hype button like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's start. When something is set up rather than pursued, it carries a different quality. It does not arrive with urgency or anxiety. It arrives with steadiness. You may notice that the idea of receiving no longer feels overwhelming or unreal. It feels appropriate. This sense of appropriateness matters. It signals that capacity has caught up with provision. The chosen one understands that what arrives before readiness often creates strain, but what arrives after preparation creates stability. This phase is marked by a shift in how you relate to value and reward. You are no longer measuring worth by struggle or delay. You recognize that alignment produces movement without drama. This recognition allows you to receive without guilt or disbelief. You understand that provision does not always come as a reaction to effort. Sometimes it comes as a response to positioning. You may notice a calm confidence emerging as this awareness settles. Not excitement that demands expression, but certainty that feels grounded. You are not trying to convince yourself that something good is happening. You simply know that it is in motion. This knowing reduces internal resistance and allows the process to unfold cleanly. There is also a noticeable easing of pressure around timing. You are no longer asking when or how constantly. You trust that what has been set in motion follows an order you do not need to manage. This trust is not passive. It is informed by experience. The chosen one has learned that forcing timing often delays what is meant to arrive smoothly. You may feel a growing sense of responsibility without heaviness. Receiving requires stewardship. You are aware of this, and it does not intimidate you. It feels appropriate. Responsibility aligns with capacity. This alignment ensures that what comes supports your life rather than complicates it. This message is not about sudden transformation or unrealistic expectation. It is about confirmation. Confirmation that the work of preparation has been sufficient. Confirmation that movement no longer depends on effort alone. When something is set up, it means coordination has already taken place at levels you did not need to access directly. You may also notice that your attention shifts away from comparison. What others are experiencing feels less relevant. This is because what is unfolding now is specific. It is not a general promise. It is a personal sequence. The chosen one understands that alignment is not collective in its details. It is individual in its timing. There may be moments where you are tempted to question whether you deserve what is happening. Allow those thoughts to pass without engagement. Worth is not being evaluated in this moment. Positioning is. You are not being tested. You are being met where readiness has already been established. As this first phase settles, remain attentive without strain. You do not need to accelerate or protect the process aggressively. What has been set up does not require constant attention. It requires steadiness, presence, awareness. This opening part is about recognition. Recognition that movement is underway, not because you demanded it, but because conditions aligned naturally. From here, the message will continue to unfold in layers, each one deepening understanding, reinforcing stability, and preparing you to engage with what is arriving in a way that is grounded, clear, and sustainable. As this alignment continues to unfold, the chosen one may begin to notice that the sense of provision being set in motion brings relief rather than excitement. Relief is important. It signals that what is arriving does not feel foreign to your life. It fits. You are not scrambling to rearrange yourself to accommodate it. Instead, it settles into the structure you have already built. This is how you know the timing is correct. During this phase, your relationship with expectation shifts again. You are no longer waiting with tension or rehearsing outcomes mentally. You remain attentive without being consumed. This attentiveness allows you to notice confirmations without clinging to them. The chosen one understands that what is truly set up does not need to be monitored constantly. It unfolds whether you watch it or not. You may also sense a growing clarity around cause and effect. You begin to recognize how past decisions, restraint, and patience contributed to this moment. Not in a way that fuels pride, but in a way that builds trust. You see, that alignment compounds over time. Nothing was wasted. Even periods that felt unproductive were establishing capacity. There is often a noticeable quieting of internal urgency during this stage. You are less compelled to rush conversations, push plans, or accelerate outcomes. This calm pacing protects the integrity of what is unfolding. When something has been set up, interference only complicates it. The chosen one allows the process to remain clean. You may notice that your discernment sharpens. You are better able to tell the difference between what is connected to this unfolding and what is a distraction. This discernment prevents dilution. Value that arrives into clarity remains supportive. Value that arrives into confusion becomes burdensome. You are choosing clarity. This phase can also bring a deeper sense of self-trust. You trust your ability to manage what is coming without losing balance. You are not worried about mishandling it. You know you have learned how to pause, assess, and respond thoughtfully. This trust reduces fear and supports integration. There may be moments where external confirmation appears subtle. A delay resolves. A conversation shifts tone. An opportunity reopens without effort. These are not coincidences. They are signs that coordination is active. The chosen one notices without becoming attached. You may also feel less pressure to explain what is happening to others. Some processes are not meant to be narrated while they are still settling. This discretion protects focus and prevents premature interpretation. What is real does not need constant explanation. This stage also highlights the importance of structure. Routines, boundaries, and habits that you have already established now show their value. They provide a container for what is arriving. Without structure, increase creates instability. With structure, it creates support. You may notice that your emotional state remains balanced. You are neither overly excited nor skeptical. This neutrality allows you to receive clearly. Emotional extremes often distort perception. Calm preserves accuracy. There is also a refinement in how you view effort. You recognize that effort now is about stewardship rather than pursuit. You are tending what is unfolding, not chasing what is missing. This shift preserves energy and keeps focus aligned. As this part of the process continues, remain grounded in consistency. Do not abandon what has been working simply because movement has begun. Stability is what allows provision to remain supportive over time. You are not being asked to anticipate every outcome. You are being asked to remain aligned. Alignment ensures that what has been set up completes itself without disruption. This second phase deepens understanding. It reinforces trust, and it prepares you to continue engaging with what is unfolding in a way that is calm, deliberate, and capable, allowing what has been arranged to arrive cleanly, integrate smoothly, and support you as intended. As this process continues to take shape, the chosen one may begin to sense that what is unfolding is not accelerating, but stabilizing. This distinction matters. Acceleration can be overwhelming. Stabilization is supportive. You are not being pushed into something unfamiliar. You are being guided into a position you have already been prepared to hold. This is why what is happening feels calm rather than disruptive. In this phase, your awareness of flow becomes more refined. You notice when things move without friction and when they require unnecessary effort. This awareness allows you to adjust naturally. You are no longer forcing yourself into alignment. You are recognizing it as it appears. The chosen one understands that true provision moves with cooperation, not resistance. You may also observe a shift in how you relate to uncertainty. Uncertainty no longer feels like a threat. It feels like space. Space for coordination to complete itself. Space for timing to mature. This comfort with not knowing everything at once allows the process to remain intact. When something is already set up, impatience only interferes. There is often a subtle strengthening of inner authority during this stage. You are not seeking permission or reassurance. You are comfortable making decisions with the information available and adjusting as needed. This confidence is quiet, grounded, and flexible. It does not depend on guarantees. It depends on trust in your ability to respond. You may notice that your mental focus becomes more selective. You spend less time revisiting old concerns or hypothetical outcomes. Your attention is drawn to what is present and actionable. This focus conserves energy and prevents unnecessary mental loops. The chosen one understands that clarity is preserved through attention, not control. This phase can also bring a sense of order to your priorities. You become clearer about what deserves investment and what does not. This clarity is not rigid. It is practical. It allows you to engage fully where it matters and disengage where it drains. This selectivity protects what is unfolding. Emotionally, you may feel more even. Highs do not feel frantic. Lows do not feel destabilizing. This emotional regulation supports clear judgment. When emotions are balanced, perception remains accurate. The chosen one values this balance because it allows provision to be managed wisely. There may be moments where you recognize how much you have changed in your approach to receiving. You are no longer questioning whether you should accept support or opportunity. You recognize that receiving is part of alignment, not a contradiction to effort. This recognition allows flow to continue uninterrupted. You may also notice that external noise loses influence. Opinions, comparisons, and speculation feel less relevant. This is because what is unfolding is specific and personal. It does not require consensus or validation. The chosen one trusts the process enough to remain inwardly guided. This stage encourages consistency. Continue doing what supports clarity. Maintain routines that ground you. Do not abandon structure in response to movement. Structure is what allows provision to remain beneficial over time. You are not being asked to manage the entire process. You are being asked to remain responsive. Responsiveness allows coordination to complete itself without interference. The chosen one understands that not everything requires intervention. As this third phase settles, there is a growing sense that what is happening is not fragile. It does not depend on constant attention. It has been arranged with intention and care. Your role now is not to force, but to receive with awareness. This part of the journey is about trust deepening into practice. You are not just believing that something has been set up. You are living in a way that reflects that belief, calm, steady, and prepared to integrate what arrives. From here, the message will continue to unfold, guiding you further into understanding how to move with what has been arranged, without strain, without urgency, and with the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you are positioned to handle what is coming next. As this alignment continues to deepen, the chosen one may begin to recognize a shift in how responsibility is carried. It no longer feels imposed or anticipatory. It feels present and proportionate. You address what is in front of you without absorbing the weight of what has not yet arrived. This approach preserves clarity and prevents unnecessary strain. When something has been set up, it does not require constant guarding. It requires steadiness. During this phase, your relationship with control refines itself. You are no longer attempting to manage outcomes at every level. Instead, you focus on what is within reach: your responses, your pacing, your attention. This selective control restores a sense of agency without tension. The chosen one understands that effective control is quiet and precise, not exhaustive. You may notice that your boundaries feel clearer and easier to maintain. You know when to engage fully and when to step back. This clarity is not avoidance. It is discernment. It ensures that your energy is invested where it supports integration rather than where it creates friction. Boundaries become a form of care for what is unfolding. There is also a refinement in how you relate to effort. You are more aware of the difference between effort that supports alignment and effort that compensates for doubt. The latter begins to fall away naturally. What remains is focused action that feels clean and effective. The chosen one recognizes that aligned effort feels lighter, even when it is substantial. Emotionally, this stage often brings consistency. Reactions soften. You experience feelings without being overtaken by them. This emotional regulation keeps perception clear and decision-making grounded. When emotions are integrated, they inform action without distorting it. You may find that your internal dialogue grows quieter during this phase. Fewer questions repeat themselves. Less energy is spent rehearsing possibilities. This quiet is not disengagement. It is order. Order allows insight to surface without pressure. This phase can also reveal how much your relationship with timing has matured. You are less inclined to rush conclusions or delay decisions unnecessarily. You act when alignment is present and wait when clarity is still forming. This pacing is intuitive rather than calculated. It reflects trust in the structure that has been established. You may notice that your attention becomes more deliberate. You invest it where coherence increases and withdraw it where confusion persists. This selectivity conserves energy and protects focus. The chosen one understands that attention directed with care amplifies what matters. There may be moments where you recognize that certain concerns no longer carry the same charge. Issues that once felt urgent now feel manageable or even irrelevant. This shift is not denial, it is resolution. When coordination has occurred at a deeper level, surface tension loses influence. This stage encourages patience without passivity. You remain attentive to what unfolds, but you do not interfere prematurely. You allow processes to complete themselves. Completion achieved this way is durable because it is not forced. You may also notice that communication feels simpler. You say what is necessary. You listen without preparing defense. This clarity reduces misunderstanding and supports cooperation. Presence becomes your primary mode of interaction. As this phase continues, structure proves its value. Routines, habits, and boundaries you have established provide a stable container for what is arriving. Without structure, increase creates imbalance. With structure, it creates support. The chosen one recognizes this balance and maintains it. Remain grounded as this integration unfolds. There is no need to accelerate or second-guess what has been arranged. What is set up does not require urgency to complete itself. It requires consistency. This fourth phase is about stabilization through discernment. You are learning how to remain aligned while engaged, how to carry responsibility without weight, and how to allow provision to integrate cleanly. From here, the message will continue unfolding, strengthening trust, refining judgment, and preparing you to move forward with confidence that is calm, capable, and sustainable. As this process continues to mature, the chosen one may begin to notice that trust has shifted from something you practice into something you inhabit. You are no longer reminding yourself to stay calm or centered. Calmness has become your default response. This internal shift changes how you meet what is unfolding. You are not bracing for disruption or preparing for disappointment. You are present, available, and steady. During this phase, your confidence expresses itself through restraint rather than assertion. You do not feel the need to announce progress, justify decisions, or seek reassurance. What is happening feels self-evident to you. This quiet confidence preserves energy and protects alignment. The chosen one understands that what is truly established does not require constant confirmation. You may also notice that your standards for engagement become more refined. You are selective, not because you feel superior, but because you value coherence. You choose environments, conversations, and commitments that support clarity rather than fragment it. This discernment ensures that what has been set up is not diluted by distraction or overextension. There is often a noticeable ease in how you relate to responsibility during this stage. You no longer carry it as weight or avoid it as pressure. You hold it as structure. Structure supports consistency. Consistency allows momentum to build without collapse. Responsibility handled this way becomes stabilizing rather than draining. Emotionally, you may feel more grounded even when situations require adjustment. You do not internalize temporary setbacks or inflate small successes. This emotional neutrality allows perception to remain clear. The chosen one recognizes that stability is what allows provision to remain supportive over time. You may also observe that your planning becomes more realistic and flexible. You think ahead without becoming rigid. You prepare without anticipating failure. This balance ensures that plans remain useful rather than restrictive. Preparedness replaces worry. This phase often brings awareness of how much effort you no longer expend unnecessarily. You are not revisiting old fears or rehearsing worst-case scenarios. Your mental energy is directed toward what is constructive and actionable. This focus conserves resources and supports clarity. You may notice that your communication continues to simplify. You speak when clarity is present and remain silent when it is not. You listen without defensiveness. This clarity strengthens relationships and reduces friction. Presence becomes more impactful than explanation. There is also a growing comfort with pacing. You do not rush growth or delay movement unnecessarily. You trust the rhythm that has established itself. This trust prevents burnout and supports long-term alignment. The chosen one understands that rhythm sustains what speed cannot. You may feel less inclined to measure progress constantly. Progress is felt through stability rather than tracked through milestones. This shift prevents exhaustion and supports endurance. Endurance ensures that what builds now can last. As this phase unfolds, you may realize that the sense of provision being set up has removed a layer of internal tension you carried for a long time. You are not waiting to be rescued or validated. You are participating in a process that is already in motion. Remain attentive to simplicity. When things feel clean and direct, alignment is present. When things feel forced or scattered, adjustment is needed. These signals guide you gently without pressure. This fifth phase is about consolidation. You are allowing what has been arranged to integrate fully into how you think, choose, and respond. From this consolidation, what follows will arrive into readiness rather than reaction, supported by clarity, restraint, and a steady confidence that does not waver. As this final phase settles into place, the chosen one may begin to recognize that what was set up is no longer something you are anticipating. It is something you are prepared to live with. The sense of provision has moved from concept to orientation. You are not organizing your thoughts around what might happen. You are organizing your life around what is already unfolding. This distinction brings calm rather than excitement, and clarity rather than urgency. There is a noticeable steadiness in how you now relate to outcomes. You are not attaching emotional weight to every development or delay. You understand that what has been arranged follows an order that does not require constant oversight. This understanding allows you to remain present and responsive instead of vigilant. The chosen one knows that what is truly established does not collapse when attention shifts. You may notice that your sense of agency feels balanced. You are neither passive nor controlling. You engage where engagement is appropriate and step back where restraint serves alignment. This balance preserves energy and keeps judgment clear. You are no longer trying to manage the entire process. You are managing your participation within it. Responsibility during this phase feels integrated rather than imposed. You recognize what requires care, follow-through, and integrity, and you tend to it without resentment or pressure. Responsibility aligns with capacity. You are not overwhelmed because you are not carrying what does not belong to you. This discernment ensures sustainability. You may also observe that your emotional responses remain measured even when situations change. You do not interpret shifts as instability. You see them as adjustments within a larger coordination. This perspective allows you to remain flexible without losing direction. The chosen one understands that adaptability is not uncertainty. It is intelligence in motion. There is a refined trust present now. Not trust based on optimism, but trust based on experience. You have seen how alignment resolves complexity. You have felt how steadiness supports movement. This trust removes the need to force reassurance. You move forward knowing you can respond effectively to what arises. You may notice that your internal dialogue remains supportive rather than critical. When decisions are required, you assess without spiraling into doubt. When outcomes are incomplete, you remain patient without disengaging. This mental stability protects focus and prevents unnecessary friction. As this phase completes, You may realize that the idea of a payment being set up was never meant to create urgency or expectation. It was meant to confirm positioning. Positioning determines how provision is received and sustained. You are positioned now to integrate what arrives without disruption. There is nothing here to rush and nothing to defend. What has been arranged does not depend on constant effort. It depends on consistency. Consistency in awareness. Consistency in pacing. Consistency in how you choose and respond. These qualities are now established. You are not being asked to announce this shift or prove its reality. Its effects will reveal themselves through stability, clarity, and reduced resistance over time. The chosen one understands that what lasts rarely needs explanation. As this sequence concludes, you move forward grounded and attentive, aware that what has been set up continues to unfold in coordination with who you have become. You are prepared to receive, manage, and sustain what arrives, not because of urgency or effort, but because readiness has been built carefully and completely. From this place, movement continues naturally. What comes next will meet you at the level of clarity and steadiness you now carry, integrating smoothly into a life that is no longer bracing for provision, but capable of sustaining it. As life continues from this point, the chosen one may begin to recognize that what has been set in motion no longer feels separate from everyday experience. Provision does not stand apart as an event to monitor or anticipate. It becomes part of the landscape you move within. This integration changes how you relate to both progress and pause. You are no longer toggling between effort and relief. You are operating from steadiness. In this stage, participation replaces observation. You are not watching life unfold from a distance, wondering when something will land. You are engaged with what is present, responding thoughtfully and adjusting without resistance. This engagement is calm and deliberate. You listen closely to your own signals. You notice when something aligns and when it does not. This awareness guides action without force. You may also notice that your sense of security feels less conditional. It does not rise and fall with updates or external confirmation. It rests on internal order. This order allows you to remain composed, even when outcomes are still forming. The chosen one understands that security rooted in alignment is more durable than security rooted in certainty. There is a growing ease in how you relate to progress. You are not measuring it constantly or comparing it to external standards. Progress is felt through stability, clarity, and reduced resistance. This perspective keeps you grounded and prevents the cycle of overexertion followed by withdrawal. Sustainable growth rarely announces itself. It reveals itself through consistency. Responsibility continues to feel like structure rather than weight. You address what is present without carrying the future in advance. This approach preserves energy and keeps focus clear. Responsibility held this way supports continuity and allows momentum to build quietly without strain. You may notice that your attention is now managed with greater care. You invest it where coherence increases and withdraw it where confusion persists. This selectivity is not avoidance. It is stewardship. Stewardship ensures that what has been arranged receives the clarity and presence it requires to remain supportive. Challenges, when they appear, no longer signal disruption. They are understood as part of engagement. You respond with adjustment rather than resistance. This response keeps movement intact and prevents emotional depletion. The chosen one recognizes adaptability as a sign of strength, not instability. This allows progress to continue with clarity, even as conditions change and new information emerges without disrupting your internal balance.